The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
Whether she's walking the red carpet or doing interviews, you'll find her with celebrities and all the latest news. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere, she's always on the go. So sit back, relax, and get ready, 'cause it's the Corey Taylor Talks Show.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Corey Taylor Talks, live from Las Vegas, the #1 teen talk show. Today I can't even explain my excitement, because I wanted to do a show about this stuff for ever, and now it's finally happening. I have the incredible Dan Rivera on with me from the Occult Museum, which is of course from the amazing investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, and I am so excited. It's so cool. We're gonna talk about Annabelle and every single thing we possibly can. I'm super ecstatic. So hi Dan, thank you so much for being on.
Good. I can hear you, but slightly.
Oh, okay. Is this any better? Okay, cool. Well, Dan, I have to tell you, truly, I am so honored to have you on. I'm truly just ecstatic.
Well, I'm glad you had me on.
Well, let's talk about this. So, you're the director of the Occult Museum, which is the coolest thing in the world, and I want to go there so bad, but
well, Tony Spera is the director of the Warren's Occult Museum.
Okay.
I'm one of the investigators that I work with them.
Right.
And I help them with the museum, with the events, investigations.
Yeah, well, I actually found you about you and stuff when you were moving, when you did the live stream from the Annabelle to the different case, and that was so cool. I thought that was so awesome that you guys actually live streamed that.
It was interesting, enough to videotape it and show it to the public, what we do, and how we handle objects,
Right. Now, I heard, you guys, bless her, once a month or something like that. Is that true?
Right. We have a priest that goes in there and does a blessing throughout the museum.
And so, do you think she's still haunted, or is it, kind of, the demon thing left her?
There's still something attached to that doll. It's our job to keep it at bay. And, we had some people come into the museum. Especially this one girl came up from Pennsylvania, and all she wanted to do, she didn't want to meet us, she just wanted to meet Annabelle. There was something about Annabelle that attracted her. And she went and had her friend take a picture of her standing near Annabelle. And you saw these eyes within the eyes of Annabelle. You know how you have the button eyes that are on the doll? Right. It just looked like there was a set of eyes looking down to the left to her. And then she moved to the other side, and she had her friend take another picture, not knowing that, Annabelle was looking at her. And again, the eyes were focusing down on her. So she had some kind of, attachment with Annabelle. I don't know if the ores mixed, but she definitely, there was an attraction there, you want to say.
That's terrifying. If I took a picture like that with her, that'd be, oh my goodness, I don't even know what I would think. But, I mean, that's kind of, if the girl really did have, all the attraction with her, I bet that was she, more scared about it, or did she think it was kind of cool, do you know?
No, I think it was just some, this fascination, I guess, she had with Annabelle, It wasn't, like she said, it wasn't any other, none of the other items in the museum. She was just focused on Annabelle. I think she put too much into Annabelle in her thoughts that created that connection somehow, which is not good, because you shouldn't put that much focus on something that's, unholy, because, it could affect you, and that's more the reasons why we have the museum blessed.
Oh, I agree completely, and I gotta say though, I do kind of have a fascination with the paranormal and stuff, and I've had a lot of experiences in my life and stuff, and I get scared every time, but I still like want to get more involved with it, which I know is bad. So I understand where her thing came from, but it's a scary thing, and you shouldn't be messing with it at all.
Right. There's a lot of groups out there, and they do these investigations, which I don't knock them, they're seeking out things that they don't know exactly what it is, It could be something demonic. It could make you believe that you're talking to a young child or talking to a past relative, It could be tricking you. I mean, these demonic, these fallen angels, they have so much wisdom. I mean, it's not, they know, your past. They know, what you've done, and they'll play that against you, and they know your weak points. So, I mean, if you're so weak and you could get influenced by that and believe in what you're hearing, it can play tricks on you. So what we do, we go out and we help people that seek, the help from us, Some cases could last 1 year, some cases could last 2 years, and some just keep going on. I mean, these are things that, take time to go away. I've been on investigations, with my, past groups and everything, and we did, go into buildings and see what we could capture. And this stuff was amazing. I mean, you did catch voices and everything, but you can't put all your feelings into that because you don't know 100% what you're dealing with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's one thing I do want to ask you. I know personally a lot of people believe that like every type of paranormal thing or something is demonic. Do you think that is, or do you think sometimes it is actually a relative or something like that?
There's a small percentage that it is demonic, There are some souls that haven't passed on, and if they haven't passed on and they stay in this realm for so long, they lose their way. And it's up to, if you really want to help somebody pass on, you really have to focus on them and their past life and try to guide them into the light, by ritual prayers and, and trying to get them to go into the light. And once you get their attention, they'll move on to the light.
Right. And can you tell us the real story of Annabelle? Because I know, obviously, Hollywood dramatizes everything and stuff, but
no, it's actually, they hit it on the point at the beginning of the movie. They were correct about the nurses, that they inherited the Annabelle doll, from her mother as a gift. And the story about Annabelle is that there was something that possessed that doll. Something unholy possessed that doll, and made the nurses believe that it was a little girl. So they allowed the doll to stay at the house and treat it as a child. And they would talk to it, they would sit at the table and everything. And like I said, it was a trick, to get them to believe that it was really a little girl in that doll, which it wasn't. There's something demonic that was in that doll. And then they started putting scratches on the girl's boyfriend. They called the Warrens, and the Warrens went over there, talked to the girls and their boyfriend, collaborated the story. And the Warrens ended up taking a doll back to their home into the museum. Well, when Ed was on his way back from where they got the doll, his car went out of control. And the doll sitting in the back seat. So he did get out of the car, he sprinkled the holy water on the doll and everything, and continued his way back to the museum where he placed the doll. Now, the doll sat in that museum, years without being in a case. It just sat in a chair originally. And there was a priest that went down there, he wanted to see the doll. And the priest thought that, he could handle that doll. I mean, it wouldn't affect him. Well, he was wrong. I mean, the priest came over to the house. He came over to the house in a brand new car and everything. And Ed said, you shouldn't have done that. You should never have challenged the doll. The priest left, and he ended up getting into a car accident. And the same thing was, there was a police officer, Ed was down there showing him around the museum. Ed got a phone call and, left the museum, went to the other room to answer the phone call. And the officer also challenged the doll. And the thing is, after he challenged the doll, Ed came back in. Things were thrown around in the museum. I mean, he was attacked, physically attacked.
Oh, my God.
He left the museum, and it was a couple months later, he met up with Lorraine in the store. and gave Lorraine a big hug and everything, and told her about everything that was going on. And he says, you know what, I ended up leaving the force, moving out of state. Whatever happened in that museum affected his life, so he just took off. And it's true about the boy and the girlfriend that came to the museum. Also went on to knocking on the glass case, and he said, if you're real, put scratches on me. So he was challenging the Dow. And Ed looked at him and says, you know what, son, you're going to have to leave. So they ended up leaving. They got on their motorcycle. They started going down Route 25. He lost control of his motorcycle and ended up crashing. He ended up dying, and I want to say about 6 months later, when the girl got out of the hospital, she said they saw Annabelle, and which forced them off the highway.
Oh my gosh, that is, I can't even imagine. Now, do you think, like, because of all the popularity and stuff, do you think more and more people are going to want to try and challenge Annabelle, honestly?
What was that?
Do you think because of all the popularity now and stuff and all the movies, do you think more people are going to try and challenge Annabelle?
We make sure that they don't. I mean, when we do our events, we actually don't do tours at the museum anymore. We take some of the items and we do an event, which we'll take maybe 4 items from the museum, take them to a location. We'll have dinner for the folks and everything. We'll show some videos of Ed talking, telling his stories, and then we'll play some EVPs from like the Enfield case in England, and then after dinner we'll unveil the items. But we're there surrounding the items just to make sure nobody challenges any of the items.
No, that's good. I was going to say, because, people are dumb sometimes and they'll do that stuff, so that's good.
Oh, yeah, well, like I said, we don't want to take the chances,
Not.
And, if we see something going on, we step in right away.
That's good. And so you said the museum, you're still not giving tours, but is it still there then?
The museum's still there. We're looking at relocating the museum eventually. So we will be doing museum tours again, but it will just be in a different location.
Gotcha. Well, if
there's reasons why we have to move the museum. It has to do with zoning laws and everything like that. So, we're looking to move the museum. Ed Warren originally wanted to move the museum way back when, but he just never had the opportunity to do it. So we might have an opportunity now to do that and share it with the public.
Oh, I'm sure you could even get a lot of funding from people and everything to relocate and stuff. I'm sure that could be a very big possibility. Yeah,
and it's a good thing. The thing is that we want to keep this alive. I mean, NESPR was founded in 1952 by Ed and Lorraine Warren. Our job is to keep the name alive, keep NESPR alive. We're the oldest organization out there in the paranormal field.
Wow. And does weird things ever still happen around the museum, or when you take the items around, like, does weird things ever happen?
Yeah, there are some weird things that do happen in the museum. I mean, we end up going back to the museum. I mean, our event ends at around 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. We have to bring these items back into the museum. Okay. And Ed always said, you don't want to be in the museum after 9 o'clock at night. I mean, till early morning, because that's the witching hour starts.
Right.
But like I said, there was a couple times when we ended up bringing the items back into the museum, we did hear some creepy stuff in the museum. I mean, especially up in the loft area. We heard, like, noises up there, whispering, and stuff like that will catch you off guard. And even in that museum, I mean, there's a different feel in the air when you walk into that museum. I mean, you could sense some evil in that museum.
Oh, I'm sure of it. There's a lot of evil there. That's probably the most evil. It's where all the most evil is condensed, I'm sure.
Well, Annabelle, like I said, that's one of the most haunted items in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, there's others, but I believe Annabelle is one of the most haunted items out there.
Did she ever... Can I be honest with you? I know this is horrible. I think she's kind of cute because I always liked Raggedy Ann dolls.
Well, she's a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah. Do you get scared by her? Like, do you get, like, the heebie-jeebies when you're around her, or is it just, like, kind of like whatever?
To this point, I think I'm just so used to being around, But when the first time I did walk in that museum and I did see Annabelle, the hair on my arms did raise,
Wow.
I mean, I have a Raggedy Ann doll in my house. I don't have her in display. I keep her in the closet. Because, you know, saying it's just like, you know, I've, you know, dealt with Annabelle. I lifted her up. I moved her. You know, if I look at another Raggedy Ann doll, and if I even have one sitting on the couch, I'm always looking over my shoulder.
Can I be honest with you? Can I tell you a really quick weird story? So when we found out that you were going to be on the show, we were talking about Annabelle, me and my manager, and we were driving in the car, and literally we looked to the left of us, and we see some guy take out an Annabelle doll, and he was about to throw it in, like, one of, like, those, like, Goodwill bins or whatever. And so we stop him, and we say, oh, my gosh, can we get your Annabelle doll? And he said, sure. So we gave him, like, $20, and he gave us a Raggedy Ann and Andy, and it was, like, as we were talking about Annabelle. So, honestly, I'm a little freaked out right now about it. But
it's weird how that happens, right? Because you focus so much on that Raggedy Ann doll, you were talking about it, and a couple minutes later, there you go. It's right there.
Yeah, I was, like, freaking out, honestly, but it's in my house now, so if I do, I keep her in the...
I'm sure there's nothing attached to that doll, but, you know, I mean, I wouldn't do any rituals or anything like that to, you know, conjure something up, you know, so...
not. Okay, we're getting questions from people, and they want to know about certain items in the museum. I guess one of the things they want to know about is, like, a coffin thing with, like, a doll inside of it or something that you take around?
We have the shadow doll that we also take to the events.
Okay, yeah, that's probably it. Do you know what that... Or I'm sure you do. What's that about, then, the shadow doll?
Well, the shadow doll, what was bad about that doll, a witch doctor put that doll together. So that doll is made out of bones, feathers, you know, teeth, real teeth. And what happened with the witch doctor, if he placed a curse on that doll. So if somebody took, say if he took a picture of that doll, he placed a curse towards that picture and mailed it to somebody. Well, there's known about that doll will come to you in your dreams and stop your heart.
Oh my, I think I heard of that before. Oh my gosh, I think I heard, oh my gosh, that's terrifying. Ever since I heard that, like, I was scared to death.
Yep, and the thing is that's one of the items that we take to the event. So we take Annabelle, the shadow doll, we take the conjuring mirror to the event, and then we have one item that we bring that nobody's ever, you know, seen outside of the museum, and we'll bring it to the event. So I had my last video I made. We chose 4 items. We chose the idol that was found in the woods of Sandy Hook, Connecticut. And what was the other one? The coffin. When there was a man that actually thought he was a vampire, and he would sleep in this coffin during the day and go out at night, and he was actually so demented that he was biting, you know, women on the streets. Right now, he's in a mental institution right now, but Ed was able to get the coffin, and the coffin sits in the museum right now.
Wow.
And there was, you know, there's a bunch of other items that we choose to bring, but it seemed like it was the Sandy Hook idol that was one that everybody was interested in bringing to the next event.
What is the Sandy Hook? What's the story behind that one?
Well, that idol was found in the woods of Sandy Hook, Connecticut. I don't know if you heard of the massacre in Sandy Hook, Connecticut, where the kid walked into the school and shot all the kids and the teachers in the school. This happened about 8 years ago.
Yes, yeah.
That
Absolutely.
was a sad event. But this idol was found in the woods of Sandy Hook. This was found, say, 25, 30 years before this happened. What they used to do in those woods, they used to do satanic rituals in those woods. And they used to worship this idol in the woods. And there was, I believe there was a witch doctor that put that there. Well, there was a hunter, and he was friends with Ed. He went out into the woods, he was hunting, and he ran into this idol. And he told Ed about it, and then Ed and him went go check out the idol. And what happened was Ed was confronted by this witch doctor. And there was a whole story behind that, you know, that the witch doctor ended up putting a curse on Lorraine. And she ended up in the hospital. 3 days comatose. Ed was able to break that curse and bring Lorraine back. So that idol sits inside the museum right now.
Wow. Now, because of the curse and everything, is Lorraine kind of like, does she not want to go by that particular item? That's like, that actually put her in the hospital?
Lorraine, she really doesn't like to go into the museum.
Really?
She went in there every once in a while. She'll go in, but she doesn't like to go in there. She's so sensitive that she senses everything in that museum. So it's not good for her to go in there.
And can I ask about The Nun? Is that true, what was happening when, like, I think they're doing, like, a sequel with it and stuff, the whole Nun thing?
The new Annabelle movie that's coming out?
Yeah.
That's totally nothing to do with Annabelle, the real Annabelle.
Okay, that's good to know. I was just curious about that.
Yeah, but it looks like it's a good movie. I mean, they put thought into it, how Annabelle was created and where, they believe where it started. But that's Warner Brothers, doing a spin-off of the last movie.
Right. Now,
so even though the first movie wasn't 100% accurate either. I mean, maybe the first 5-10 minutes of that movie was accurate. The rest was, Warner Brothers making a movie about it,
Yeah, well, they had to do the extra stuff. It's Hollywood.
It's Hollywood. They got to sell the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
But like I said, the Conjurings, those were true. And then, then you have a Hollywood that just added their spin to it,
Right. No, I gotta be honest. When I saw those movies, I can watch a lot of horror films, but like, for some reason, those movies just really affected me, and I think, like, finding out that it actually was based on true stuff and everything.
So and it's great that, that movie was able to do that to you, because throughout the years, I mean, when they started making horror movies, say, for instance, like when they first came out with The Exorcist, that had a creepy feel to it when you were first watching that movie. I think I was probably like 10 years old and that movie affected me at that age, But they never came out with that old school kind of feel horror movie since then.
Yeah.
And everything's like, there wasn't a really good horror movie. But when you take real life cases from the Warrens and make that into a movie, it brought that feel back from the 70s.
Yeah.
I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but there's a different feel to the way Warner Brothers did with these movies.
No, and I completely agree with you, and it was a whole different type of feel, and it was that old classic horror films that really got you on the edge of your seat, and knowing that it was real too, that's just like the most terrifying part, I think, of everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, the first one was great. It was a classic. The second one came out, also a great movie. But it was, like I said, it was in a different location. It was a different story, so you had a different feel to that movie also.
Did the cast come down and actually meet you guys and go to the museum and stuff?
We did have the actors and actresses come from the movie down to the museum. They toured the museum. They sat down and they talked to Lorraine. They talked to Tony. They got all the information, how Ed was, how Ed investigated, how Lorraine investigated. They sat there for a while and they talked.
That's cool. Oh, yeah, I think that film, it was put together incredibly, and it was a true classic. You're completely right with that.
No, I think Vera nailed it right on the head.
She was amazing.
When I watched that movie, I really do see Lorraine. That's how well she played the movie.
Wow, that's really cool. And there's one other.
And like I said, Ed's character, I mean, it's you weren't able to meet Ed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he got what we told him, what Tony told him and Lorraine told him about Ed, and he did a great job. But, not really meeting him face to face, but he did a lot of studying and he did a great job.
That's really cool that they took it so seriously, too. That's a really good thing.
Oh, they really get into character.
Absolutely.
And like I said, she, on the second set, I believe Vera actually felt something on that set. They ended up doing a deliverance prayer at the set also.
Wow. Now, I heard that too. A lot of times when people are working on horror films, like, they say actual stuff really does go wrong, and especially it seems when it is type of paranormal stuff, and like I can't think of the name right now, but I mean there's like
Poltergeist was one. You have half of the cast that passed away.
Right.
One was a drug overdose, unexplained death, with the little girl. There's a couple things that went on set over there.
Do you think it's because of like negative energy that they're talking about in their stuff and it's manifesting, or what do you think about that thing?
Yeah, it probably is. Like I said, if you put yourself too much into it and get involved, you know, I really can't really explain it because I don't have all the answers. But something wasn't going right when that happened.
Yeah, I agree. Would you?
You know, and that's more reasons why you need to protect yourself. Especially like when you saw me transfer Annabelle from the old case to the new case. Before I even went there, I went to the church and I had a priest pray over me and did a blessing. And then, you know, when I went to the museum, you know, I drenched my hands in holy water, and I was praying all the way through from moving her, you know, one location to the next. And you felt the temperature in that room dropped when Tony opened that the door from the case. I mean, it must have dropped at least 20 degrees. And I was looking at the video, and you can actually see the smoke. You know, when you breathe, you can see that smoke coming out of your mouth.
Yes.
And then that's how cold it got in that museum.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was watching it live, and I was like, you were so brave, because I couldn't, like, I know you were wearing the glove, I know you're praying, but oh my goodness. I mean, I know you dealt with her before and stuff, but that had to be terrifying, honestly, to actually carry her.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I can't say that I wasn't afraid,
really?
You know. But the thing is, I didn't put that focus into Annabelle. You know, I never do, you know. If I have to handle or move her in one case to the other, you know, I did what I had to do it, you know, to protect myself.
Yeah, I don't you're a very brave man, though. That was really, really cool.
I see. The thing is, I don't see it that way. You know, it's like people watch these videos, like, wow, you know, I can't believe you did that. I've been doing this for a living. You know, it doesn't affect me that way. You know,
right.
So you know, people say, oh, you know, people. All of a sudden, I have 5,000 friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, wow, am I famous? No, I'm not. You know, I never thought I was famous or forever doing this stuff. You know, I don't look for fame when we do this stuff. You know, I'm just trying to keep the name alive, being a part of NASPR, and keep the work going.
Oh, and you can tell that, truly, and that's why I think people do pay attention, because it's a legit thing, and you guys are actually making a difference and bringing awareness to stuff and saying, it is real, this is actually happening, like, you can't mess with this.
And like I said, we still take on cases, and, you know, we work with people that really need help. You know, I'm working on a case right now in Germany, which this girl had an exorcism back done, I think it was done in the 90s, and it was videotaped. What happened was the media got a hold of it and started putting it on TV in Germany, and the church backed away. Church didn't want this to be on the news or anything like that. So she contacted me about a couple of years ago, and she started telling me her story, and it was weird because her personality would change. I mean, I would be getting emails with her saying things that I'd never heard of before, and in her emails, it was weird because some of her emails was written backwards. It was almost like Hebrew.
Oh my God.
And then I ended up finding a priest to go help her. You know, I was in conversation with him, and he wasn't able to go there. So I didn't give up on her. You know, throughout the year and everything. I found somebody in Spain, and a great guy, Francisco. He left Spain, went over to Germany, sat down with her, videotaped her, documented everything. She did come under possession while he was there. He was able to record it.
Wow.
Now he took that to the bishop. I told him, you know what, take it to your priest. Well, he ended up taking it to his priest, and the priest sent it to the Vatican, the bishop in the Vatican. So now the case is now the Vatican's going to take care of it right now.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting for an update and seeing what's going on.
And now, I do want to ask that, because I know that was kind of a thing people were saying. I always thought, and I think a lot of people think, that most of the time when you do an exorcism, like, it's kind of a one-and-done thing, and it's the big, grandiose...
It takes, and that's why the Vatican's getting involved and the Church getting involved, because it takes multiple exorcisms. Not one could fully cure you, you know, and not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years. It takes a while.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Now,
yeah,
I have to ask, would you ever, or have you ever, would you do a Ouija board or anything like that, or will you not go and do that type of thing at all?
I will never do a Ouija board. Because right there, you're opening up a door. You're opening up things that could get attached to you. Something might not happen to you 1, 2 years. Something could happen to you 5 years later. Something could happen to you 10 years later.
Yeah.
It's just waiting for the perfect opportunity to attack. So you never play with the Ouija board.
Good to know. That's a good thing to know. And, oh, yes, we keep getting messages. My manager keeps yelling at me because I keep forgetting to bring it up. But there's a particular doll that's in a lot of photos and stuff, and it's like has like horns and stuff, and it's like blue and gray and white. Do you know what I'm talking about?
That's the shadow doll.
Oh, is that
the
shadow?
One that has all the spikes coming out of it, the black spikes, and it has blue on it and everything?
No, not that one. It has like, it looks almost like an alien, and like it has giant eyes and stuff.
That's the Sandy Hook idol.
Oh, okay, that's a Sandy Hook one.
That's the tall one. That's the one we're bringing to the next event. So if anybody's listening, our next event's June 3rd. You can go to warrens.net. I mean, grab your tickets, come fly down here, grab a hotel. You'll have a great evening. The event's about 6 hours long. You won't, regret it. I mean, this is something that, is once in a lifetime opportunity to actually see these items face to face.
Would you ever think of going anywhere else besides Connecticut, like Vegas or something like that?
That's the thing, we need the money to do that. We don't, we get money for the events and stuff like that, but that actually helps to pay Lorraine's medical bills and stuff like that. It takes a lot of money to actually go and travel. If we had the funding, I mean, I would love to do it. It's something maybe down the future we'll probably end up doing.
Oh, I'm sure you guys could get like a lot of people helping and supporting, because everyone would want to do that. Like everyone, I would do anything.
Yeah, I mean, if there's somebody in Vegas, that wants to fund it, that'll be great. And I'm sure there's a lot of places in Vegas that will probably make some money off this. But like I said, it's just a fun thing. It takes a lot of money, to take all these items and travel with them.
Well, let me tell you, I will be looking, because I would do anything to have that come here. So I will be looking.
I was in Vegas. Not even a year ago on my honeymoon. I was down there.
Oh, really? How cool! Oh,
I had a great time.
Well, congrats about the marriage too. How did you actually get involved in the museum and everything, or with the paranormal and stuff? How did you get involved?
Well, for the paranormal, I got involved in it. I mean, it wasn't that I got involved in it. It's always been a part of my life. I mean, everybody has a story saying, growing up, and, I lived in a haunted house and stuff like that. But with me, it was different. There was a lot of things going on in this house, and, it had a lot to do with Santeria and stuff like that with, relatives. We lived in a 4-family house, and the altar was literally the room underneath me. And at 6 years old, I remember being pulled out of bed and, being thrown into the wall. And that was, I lived with that. I mean, until I realized that the only place that could help me was the church. And, going to Sunday school, telling, Sunday school teacher what was going on and stuff like that. And she taught me how to pray and how to protect myself. This was something that this practice ran back in generations in my family, and it affected me throughout my life. I mean, all the way until I was in my teens. And there wasn't nobody to go to for help, except for the church. You would tell your family, hey, this is going on, they'll brush it off, but it affected, us kids. I mean, it was a 4-family house, not just me, it was my cousins, that dealt with this. I mean, one of my cousins, actually, he was in a room with his girlfriend. They were staying in his room, and that was my grandmother's brother's room. I mean, he passed away, but he ended up actually physically fighting with something in that room. He said she looked like she had these tentacles coming out from her face. She had white hair. Her skin was paled. Her mouth was full of teeth. I mean, if you could imagine a shark with, say, 5 times as many teeth in her mouth. And, things like that we dealt with in our life, growing up. I was always looking for answers, why did this happen to me? And that's how I got into the paranormal. and investigating. And I always heard voices. I always sense something. If it was evil, I would go in the room. I would sense, I could feel it pulling me down. And I kept on doing this. I formed 2 different groups. There was one time I went to go see Lorraine lecture, and I was standing out there, and Lorraine and Tony looked at me and said, "Hey, help us bring some books in." So I helped them bring the books in, and ever since then I've been with them.
Wow.
And I've been going on cases. I went on a couple cases with Lorraine. Listened to her stories. I learned a lot. It's one thing when you first get into the field, you think you know what you want out of this field. But, there's a better and there's a greater purpose of being in this field. It's just not going out there collecting EVPs, finding images on film. It's about helping people. And that's the main reason why we do this.
Yeah, and that's why you guys are so cool and stuff. And I really did read up on Ed and Lorraine and their early years and how they lived in a car basically and went around helping people and stuff. And that right there shows you that they're really in it because they're there to help people, and that's really amazing things. And you guys are very blessed and amazing people, and that's really, really cool. And I'm so honored to have you.
I appreciate that. It feels good that there are people out there that believe in what we do. It was kind of funny when we were doing that first video, and I was looking at some of the comments, and people are saying, "Oh, Sam and Dean Winchester." I was like, that made me laugh. But it's a good show. Sam and Dean are. I actually like the show.
Oh wow.
But it's a different life, what they show on TV and what we deal with,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I can't even begin to imagine. And I was dumb enough. I've been on a couple ghost hunts and stuff, and every single time I ever do anything, something always happens with me. And so I try to stay away as much as possible, but I'm still fascinated. So that's why I was so lucky to have you on, and I'm so honored.
Yeah. You could be sensitive and you don't even know it. If you hear whispers, or if you with me, when I sense something, it's almost like my sinuses get really heavy, and you feel that pressure in your head, and it tries to pull you down. That's being sensitive. That's being open.
Yeah, I've got pushed and shoved and scratched and stuff, so I get really scared by it. So.
Well, then have you ever been baptized?
No, I haven't.
So I don't know what religion. I don't force religion on anybody, but it's good to be baptized. The thing is, when you're baptized, it cleanses your sins. When you're born into this life and they baptize you, it takes away the sins of your parents, and now you're clean, so you're protected. Now it's like an aura of light that it's a halo that surrounds you and it protects you. So that's my belief, and that's the belief of the church. So. And if you're not protected and you try to invite these things in, like I said, you don't know what you're inviting in or what you're trying to conjure up. Like I said, it could be something demonic, and it's going to play tricks on you. So that's what you need to be careful with.
Okay, well then I'll definitely.
Especially if you're getting scratched, that's not good.
Yeah. It was and there were scratches that literally lasted for months and months, and I think they're at my friend's apartment that's haunted. That's where I got the scratches from, and. It's just, It was a scary thing for sure, and he still lives in that apartment. So
I brought one guy on an investigation with me, and I was doing a tour of an opera house, and this opera house had a jail underneath it. That's where the fire department was. They had a burlesque up on top, everything. I told him, don't go in the jail cells. I told him, stay with me, don't go, apart from the group. He ended up going apart from the group. Mm-hmm. He ended up going to the jail cell. So we left the building because he was getting scratched. Physically, I'm looking at him, and you see scratch marks appearing on the back of his head.
Oh, my gosh.
So we left the building. We went down to another building down the street where we were meeting. And as he's standing there, more scratch marks are appearing on him. He was continuing being attacked. So I had to do a blessing on him with holy water and everything to see if it could help. And one of the pictures that we took when this was happening, and there was an old balcony in the background. We took a picture of him in the location at the building where we were meeting, not even the opera house. That same balcony appeared in the picture where he got scratched at. in this other location.
Oh, I'm not even kidding. I got chills down my spine. That's horrifying.
Well, that's the thing. That's what you got to be careful with the demonic and stuff like that. They can play tricks on you. They can manipulate things. So, there's a lot to this field that a lot of people don't understand,
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Well, truly, once again, Dan, thank you so much for being on. Please tell people where they can go get a hold of you guys, donate to the museum and the tour and everything that you guys do, because I really believe in you guys, and I think you're
Well, let me tell you, like I said, Tony Spare is the director of NESPR, takes care of the museum. I'm one of the investigators. You could either reach Tony Spare on Facebook. You could reach Dan Rivera on Facebook. You could go to warrens.net. Like I said, you could go there. You can send us an email through, there's an NESPR2 at Yahoo. You can send us an email there if, you're having problems, or if you want to come to one of the events. We have an Evening with Annabelle tab on the website. You click on there. Our next event is June 3rd. It's from 7 to 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. Like I said, you'll have a great time. There's great food, great people. We'll make sure that, we keep things moving through the event, and there's not a dull moment during the event. You can go to the website, pick the date that you want to come to the event. June 3rd is our next event, but we'll have other events coming down, in the near future.
Awesome. Well, I will one day either make it down there, or I will try and do everything in my power to get you guys down here, because that will be like the best thing ever if I could do that. So.
Oh, that'll be great.
Awesome.
Like I said, keep in touch. We're friends on Facebook, so let me know anything comes up. If you want me on the show again,
I would
anytime.
love to. I'd love to, for sure. Thank you so much, Dan. I truly appreciate it. Once again,
right.
Amazing. So thank you. Have a
Okay,
great
thanks.
day.
All right, talk soon. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Oh my goodness, I see it now. There's a light behind me, and I don't know why. And it just appeared out of nowhere. I'm gonna cry now, guys. But I think a light's a good sign. Am I correct? Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, please go check out the Warrens.net, I believe it is. He's an awesome guy. It was an awesome interview. I'm so excited. If you can go down there, please do. If you know any connections here that can help us get them down here, that'd be amazing too. So, but thank you guys so much for watching. There's another dot appearing. Anyways, never happened before. Thank you guys so much. I gotta get baptized right away. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, never give up, always believe, and you'll achieve. Thank you, and God bless.